Yo, what's up, legends? Welcome back to the channel where we geek out over the hardware that changed wars, won matches, and still makes grown men weak at the knees. Today we're on a full send mission for the ultimate dream of every trigger puller. A rifle that literally drills the exact same hole every single time, no matter if the target's at 100 yards or a mile out. We're talking that sweet sub-MOA wizardry that makes jaws drop at the range and forces record books to get new pages added. To hit those insane groups, you need perfect barrels, an action that feels like it's machined by angels, ammunition that doesn't lie, and a shooter who's forgotten more tricks than most will ever learn. That relentless chase for perfection has birthed some straight-up iconic rifles across the decades, and I've stacked the 10 absolute monarchs of the accuracy world just for you. If you live for cloverleafs and the legendary stories behind them, slam that subscribe button right now, turn on notifications, and let's jump straight into the fire. We're starting this epic countdown deep in the smoke of World War II with a proper British icon that took a standard grunt rifle and turned it into the deadliest sniper tool of its era, the Lee-Enfield No. 4MKI. Picture the British war machine in total survival mode, desperate for not just tough rifles, but ones that could thread a needle at crazy distances while bullets were snapping overhead. Armorers went full talent scout mode, walking the factory floors cherry-picking only the smoothest, tightest, most promising No. 4 rifle straight off the line. Those chosen ones got shipped to the holy grail of British gunmaking, Holland and Holland, where master craftsmen worked pure magic. Fitting pristine No. 32 scopes, hand-carved cheap pieces, beefed-up wood, and triggers so crisp you'd swear they were tuned on a jeweler's bench. The end result was a rifle that could reach out beyond 800 yards and stack bullets, so tight it looked like one round with multiple personalities. This wasn't some sterile testbed queen. It went to hell and back from the western desert to D-Day beaches to Pacific Islands, with snipers silently deleting high-value targets through sandstorms, monsoons, and pure chaos, often changing the course of entire engagements with one well-placed shot. It showed the world you don't always need a from-scratch sniper rifle. Just start with a bulletproof foundation, pick the very best examples, and let old-school artisans take it to God tier. That bolt still flies like it's on rails, even when your heart's at 180 BPM. The walnut stock feels like it was grown around the action, and the whole gun is the perfect marriage of battlefield grit and gentlemanly class. The pros are obvious: insane historical weight, basically indestructible, and with modern hand loads or the rare good surplus, it'll still humiliate most new rifles. It's literally the grandfather of modern military precision shooting. The cons? Genuine .303 British ammo is getting stupid expensive and hard to find. True match-grade stuff is basically unicorn tiers, and these are 80-year-old masterpieces that demand respect and proper care. Spare parts aren't exactly on Amazon. Price tag on a legit, all-matching scope No. 4 T today? You're looking at $6 to $9 grand easy. These aren't range toys you beat on every weekend. They're museum-grade heirlooms that rarely come up for sale, and when they do, it's an all-out bidding war. Historians, reenactors, and hardcore precision nuts fight over them because this rifle is living proof that sometimes the classics from a century ago still smoke anything fresh off the CNC in the never-ending quest for the perfect group. Next on deck is a straight-up American hero that looked every doubter in the eye and said, "Watch this," when people claimed semi-autos could never hang with bolt-action precision rifles. The national match, M1 Garand. Fast forward to right after World War II ends. The standard M1 is already a battlefield legend, but the competition crowd and armory wizards start asking, how insane can we actually make this thing? They raid the production line for the finest receivers, glass-bed them into extra beef walnut stocks that don't flex a millimeter, hand-fit national match barrels with ultra-tight chambers and flawless crowns, then massage the gas system with vented plugs and mirror-polished internals so the operating rod floats like it's on greased glass without hammering the receiver to pieces. Triggers get worked down to a glassy 4-pound break, rear sights swapped for match-grade apertures, and boom, this iconic battle rifle is suddenly punching quarter-size groups at 100 yards all day long. It absolutely dominated Camp Perry throughout the 1950s and 60s, stacking up national trophy wins left and right, and proving 8 rounds of lightning-fast .30-06 could embarrass bolt guns costing twice the money. Even today, the CMP is still assembling them to the original legendary spec, and although real GI parts are getting scarce, a brand new CMP special or correct gray national match Garand will set you back roughly $2,200 to $3,500 depending on the wood and finish you pick. The upsides are pure Americana in your hands, blisteringly quick follow-up shots, and a platform that eats cheap surplus for fun but will reward good hand loads with legit sub-MOA performance. Downsides? She's a heavy girl. The in-block clips will bite you if you're lazy with your thumb. And if you want to baby that match barrel, you'll want an adjustable gas plug and premium ammo to keep overgassing and throat erosion away. But in a world drowning in polymer wonder rifles, the National Match Garand is still the undisputed king for anyone craving that old-school soul, semi-auto rapidity, and match-winning accuracy without having to refinance the house. Now we're swinging way up north to Scandinavia, where the Swedes looked at the classic Mauser pattern, cracked their knuckles, and built what many still call the single finest military bolt action ever issued. The Swedish Mauser M1896 in that buttery smooth 6.5 by 55 Swedish round that's been dropping moose and punching tiny groups for well over 120 years. Here's how it went down. Right around 1896, Sweden licensed the Mauser design, but instead of just copying it, they went full perfectionist. They used their world-famous steel, applied quality control that was borderline obsessive, and married it to a cartridge famous for laser-flat trajectory, fat bullets that hit like a truck, and recoil so mild your grandma could shoot it all afternoon and still smile. Yeah, it started life as a standard infantry rifle, but it quickly became the darling of target shooters and hunters because those barrels last basically forever, and the cock-on closing action is slicker than anything this side of a custom bench rest gun. Ask any milsurp junkie and they'll tell you the Swedish M96 is the undisputed king of surplus. Better bluing, tighter fit, and cleaner bores than 99% of K98S or Mosins thanks to Swedish soldiers treating them like family heirlooms instead of shovels. People ring steel at 300 to 400 yards for fun, drop deer cleanly every season, or just embarrass $3,000 rifles on the weekend with one that costs pocket change. That bolt feels like it's running on ball bearings, the factory trigger breaks clean as glass, and the whole rifle just works whether it's minus 20 in the forest or plus 100 on the range. The good stuff? Stupid accurate for a 100-plus-year-old service rifle. Almost no recoil, so you can watch every impact. Craftsmanship that looks hand-fitted, and 6.5 by 55 ammo is still widely available or stupid easy to hand-load on a budget. Prices today for a solid shooter from Carl Gustavs or Husqvarna between $450 and $800, with pristine all-matching examples pushing $1,000 or more and still feeling like steel. Downsides? That long 29-inch barrel makes it a heck of a walking stick in thick timber, and while it's tough, it's not quite as abuse-proof as some beat-to-hell Mosin. Still, in a sea of rusty surplus imports, the Swedish M96 is the undisputed budget accuracy monarch. Feed it some M/41 Perv or your favorite hand loads, and you'll instantly understand why it's called the best military bolt gun you can buy without taking out a second mortgage. In 2015, Ruger dropped a straight-up nuke on the precision world and completely changed the game overnight. Say hello to the Ruger Precision Rifle, aka the RPR. Before the RPR showed up, if you want a chassis gun with a free-floated barrel, folding stock, factory, sub-MOA guarantee, full accessory rails, and every tactical feature known to man, you're coughing up $4,000, $5,000, sometimes $6,000 for a custom shop build that most of us could only stare through the glass. Ruger looked at that insanity, grinned, and basically said, "Challenge accepted." They took a cold hammer forged barrel that's already scary accurate, slammed it into a super stiff aluminum magnesium chassis, gave it a fully adjustable folding stock that packs down tiny, added an AR-style grip and magwell, so you can run dirt cheap mags all day, slapped MLOK slots everywhere, and capped it off with a trigger so clean you'd swear it came off a $1,500 jewel. Then they priced the entire package under $2,000 and dared the industry to keep up. Fast forward to today, and you can snag a brand new one on the street for $1,400 to $1,700, sometimes even less when the sales hit, and the performance is still absolutely ridiculous. Unbox it, throw on whatever scope you've got, feed it any decent factory match load, and it will pound consistent half-MOA groups like it's personally offended by anything bigger. This thing didn't just join the party. It kicked the door down and rewrote the guest list. Guys who used to be happy dinging steel at 300 yards with a hunting rig suddenly found themselves smoking gongs at 1,000 plus like it was nothing, and all without selling along. The modularity is next level. Swap a barrel and bullhead in minutes, and you're running .308, 6.5 Creedmoor, or .300 Win Mag with 0 drop in accuracy. Yeah, it's a hefty beast, tipping the scales at about 11 pounds naked. So it's more range queen than mountain goat. The handguard gets toasty after a few mags, and a few purists whine about the plastic bolt shroud. But when your 600-yard target looks like one jagged hole, those gripes disappear real quick. It spawned an army of copycats and budget clones. But the original RPR is still the measuring stick every new chassis rifle gets held against. The absolute gateway rifle that turns regular dudes into full-blown long-range addicts and keeps them chasing smaller groups for the rest of their lives. If you're a big game hunter who wants a classic walnut and blued beauty that comes with a legit accuracy guarantee etched in stone, there's still only one name that towers over the rest: the mighty Weatherby Mark V. Roy Weatherby didn't just design a rifle, he forged a dynasty, building what tons of gunsmiths still swear is the strongest production bolt action ever created. 9 huge locking lugs, a receiver built like Fort Knox, and barrels that are hand-lapped until they're basically perfect. From the very first day, he put his name on it. Every single Mark V has shipped with the same balls of promise that's still in the box today. Put 3 shots into an inch at 100 yards with factory premium ammo, or Roy's Ghost will personally refund your money. And decades later, that dare is still being cashed without issue. Entry-level models kick off right around $1,600, but when you start adding exhibition-grade walnut, fluted stainless, and Cerakote, the sky's the limit. Loaded versions easily creep past $3,500 and keep climbing. Feed at those screaming Weatherby Magnums that Roy invented, and you've got a cannon that flattens elk at 400 yards like it's personal, yet still prints groups you can hide under a nickel all day long. It's not featherlight, it's not quiet about its price tag, and it sure isn't shy, but for the hunter who wants timeless elegance, nuclear-grade strength, and a pedigree that makes everyone at hunting camp shut up and stare, nothing on planet Earth touches the Mark V. That action is glassy, smooth, even at -20, the stock feels molded to your exact body, and the trigger snaps so clean every pull feels like surgery. Downsides? Yeah, your wallet will feel it. Magnum ammo costs a small fortune, and at 8+ pounds scoped, it's a beast to pack. But in an era dominated by black plastic and carbon fiber, the Mark V is still the undisputed champion for hunters who demand raw power, drop-dead looks, and a guarantee that actually means something, delivered one gorgeous walnut masterpiece at a time. We're officially at the halfway mark, and now we're talking about the rifle that turned budget precision from a bad joke into the ultimate bragging right. The Tikka T3x straight out of Finland. This thing is born in the same factory that builds Seiko royalty, and brother, that DNA is impossible to hide. You get a cold hammer forged barrel that shrugs off heat like it's nothing, a bolt that glides like it's on roller skates, a 2-stage trigger that cracks like fine crystal, and a factory sub-MOA guarantee that isn't marketing smoke, all for about $850 out the door. Elk hunters who need one gun to drag through alder hell and still ring 500-yard steel worship it. First-time long-range addicts who refuse to go bankrupt grab it and instantly wonder why anyone spends more. The action drops into the stock like it was glass-bedded at the factory, barrel harmonics are freakishly good, and the entire rifle just shoots. No fuss, no stories, no excuses. Throw in any respectable factory load and watch your groups collapse into one jagged little hole. Sure, the polymer mags feel cheap and replacements will make you cry, but when your target looks like it got hit by a death ray, you stop caring real fast. It's light enough to pack from dawn to dusk, rugged enough to laugh at pouring rain, and the stock plays nice with every aftermarket upgrade under the sun. Minor gripes? The factory stock can flex a tiny bit under a heavy bipod, and the bolt stop gets grumpy if you ride it like a rental. But at this price point, it's laughably unbeatable. In a sea of overpriced entry-level rifles that barely break 2 MOA, the Tikka T3x wears the crown as the undisputed king of bang-for-buck precision, the benchmark every other company secretly measures against, and living proof that you can shoot like a sponsored pro without needing a trust fund. Dropping way back to the swinging 60s, Steyr in Austria decided Europe's sniper world needed a serious wake-up call, and they delivered it with the Steyr SSG 69, a rifle so ahead of its time the continent still hasn't fully caught up. The Austrian military wanted something that would embarrass every creaky, heavy, wood-stocked dinosaur still in service. So Steyr built an absolute monster. A rot-proof synthetic stock that didn't care about rain, snow, or waist-deep mud. A rear-locking bolt that cycled smoother than most pure target rifles. A hammer-forged barrel with tolerances so insane it felt like everyone was hand-fitted. And that wild see-through rotary magazine that let you count remaining rounds without taking your eyes off the scope. The result was a rifle that was lighter, meaner, and shot circles around anything else on the block, spitting out groups that made crusty old armorers rethink their entire lives. It got adopted by the Austrian army and quickly spread to police and special units all over the planet, racking up more than 50 years of hard service in every nasty corner of the globe and never once losing its edge. Finding a clean one on the used market today is basically a treasure hunt. Solid shooters go for $1,800 to $2,800 with mint, all matching kits pushing even higher once the collectors smell blood. Accuracy-wise, it hasn't aged a single day. Plenty still crank out easy sub-MOA groups with surplus or basic hand loads. No pillar bedding or fancy tricks required. The pros are legendary. Built like it could survive a nuclear winter, light enough for all-day patrols, groundbreaking for the era, and that buttery action makes rapid follow-ups feel effortless. The cons? Spare parts are turning into hen's teeth. The stock isn't adjustable like today's chassis rigs, and the safety feels a little agricultural to modern fingers. Still, surrounded by a million black tactical clones, the SSG 69 remains the OG disruptor, the rifle that proves synthetic stocks and surgical precision were made for each other, the quiet trailblazer that wrote the playbook for every modern sniper rifle, and an absolute legend on the used market that still makes jaws hit the floor every time it goes bang. Landing at the number 3 spot is the rifle that literally haunts the dreams of every modern sniper on the planet, the legendary Accuracy International AW. This beast was drawn up by a 2-time Olympic gold medalist shooter who understood that pretty good doesn't keep people alive, then adopted by the British Army as the L96A1 and battle-tested everywhere from frozen Arctic ridges to scorching Iraqi sand dunes without ever blinking. We're talking a full-length aluminum chassis that's permanently bonded to the action, a match-grade free-floated barrel, a 3-position safety you can flick with Arctic mittens, quick-detach double-stack magazines, and an optional folding stock that locks up tighter than a bank vault in an earthquake. Every single component screams issued to Tier 1 units for a reason. The current AX series rifles, the direct descendants of the original AW, start around $7 grand and climb to $9,500 before glass, yet they'll still crank out repeatable 3/10 MOA groups in a blinding sandstorm, monsoon downpour, or after you've dragged it behind a truck for a mile. It's not just accurate. It's freakishly consistent, shot after shot, day after day, in conditions that turn normal rifles into expensive scrap metal. Militaries and police sniper teams on every continent have trusted their lives to it for over 30 years, and it still owns long-range records that nobody has managed to break. Pros? Indestructible build, ice vein repeatability, fully modular for any mission, and a reputation that makes operators nod with respect. Cons? The price will make your eyes water. It's a heavy mother for long foot patrols, and good luck getting one quickly. The waiting list is measured in months because demand never, ever drops. Still, in a world full of wannabe tactical rifles, The AW and its AX offspring remain the untouchable gold standard, the one every other company is desperately chasing. The rifle real door kickers grab when missing isn't an option and perfection is the only acceptable outcome. Sliding into the silver medal slot is a straight-up transformer that flipped the entire precision world on its head. The Barrett MRAD. Born to satisfy SOCOM's insane requirement for one rifle that could do literally everything, this multi-caliber monster lets you switch from .308 to 6.5 Creedmoor to .300 Norma Mag to .338 Lapua in just a couple minutes with nothing but a torque wrench. No gunsmith, no vice, no drama. Barrels swap so fast you can literally change calibers between stages at a PRS match or mid-deployment, and no matter which tube is on it. The MRAD still spits out effortless half-MOA groups like bigger holes personally offended. The folding stock locks up rock solid. The upper receiver is one giant monolithic rail ready for every night vision or thermal toy you own, and the entire platform is built like a main battle tank that decided to become a surgeon. Spec Ops teams all over the globe run it in blistering deserts, frozen mountains, and everything in between because it simply refuses to quit. Yellar competitors keep cleaning 2,000-yard plates, keep picking the MRAD because it flat out wins. The trigger is match-grade crisp, ergonomics feel like they were sculpted for your hands, and the recoil system turns .338 Lapua kick into a gentle shove. The good? Insane versatility, bulletproof reliability, pro-grade accuracy in every caliber, and a resume that gets you instant cred in the highest circles. The bad? It's an absolute unit, easily cracking 14+ pounds loaded, so don't plan on skipping leg day. And the price tag sits right around 7 large, sometimes nudging 8 with options, which puts its pure pro or lottery winner territory. Even with a flood of modular rifles hitting the market, the Barrett MRAD still sits on the throne, the original do-anything, go-anywhere system that everyone copies but nobody truly beats, the ultimate one-rifle solution for anyone who needs to own every distance on Earth without ever invented. And coming in at the top spot, we've got the modern civilian reincarnation of one of America's most iconic battle rifles, the Springfield Armory M1A. Now, before the comment section grabs torches and pitchforks, hear me out. While it's not a true GI surplus piece, the M1A carries the exact DNA of the legendary M14 that dominated the Cold War era. It's a gas-operated, magazine-fed .308 semi-auto that brings the same proven reliability and battlefield toughness into the 21st century, but built on brand-new machinery to tighter tolerances. You get that unmistakable walnut and steel aesthetic, lightning-fast follow-ups, and a smoother, more refined shooting experience than most original 1960s surplus rifles could ever dream of. Loaded or national match versions can absolutely deliver 1 to 1.5 MOA with good ammo, and for a lot of shooters that's plenty accurate enough for anything inside 800 yards. And you get to own a slice of living history without chasing ghosts on the surplus market. Street prices run from about $1,300 for a base model all the way to $2,800 for tricked-out versions with match barrels and glass-bedded stocks. Downsides are real. It's heavier than most modern rigs. Magazines are pricey, and it will never be a 0.5 MOA laser beam like a chassis bolt gun. Plus, you miss out on that true Vietnam bring-back provenance. But for the shooter who wants semi-auto rapidity, classic American heritage, and solid real-world accuracy in a package that still looks badass 50 years later, the M1A remains an absolute legend. And there you have it, guys. 10 rifles that didn't just raise the bar, they launched it into orbit. From frozen World War II trenches to today's climate-controlled 1,000-yard benches. Every single one of these masterpieces is the result of pure obsession in every ounce of steel and every grain of powder. Now it's your turn. Which one shocked you the most? Which one are you running out to buy tomorrow? What's the smallest group you've ever punched with any rifle, period? Smash those comments. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. Just get in there. And while you're at it, slam that subscribe button. Ring the bell so you never miss an upload. And we'll catch you in the next one. Stay stacked and keep those groups tight.